Christine! Welcome to another very special Harry Potter book talk! Today we are going to be discussing Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince by J.K. Rowling. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. This is most definitely one of my favorite Harry Potter books. I loved it, but at the end I was absolutely devastated. We've been through this, but if you haven't read Harry Potter already, this is going to be a spoilery discussion and I recommend you go read it because they're absolutely fantastic. I first read them when they came out, and now for the first time I'm listening to all the audiobooks, which has been just like the best experience. Now when I'm walking my dog, because I've been home taking care of my dog, I've turned on Harry Potter and then I stick my phone in my shirt, zip up my heavy winter jacket, so the audiobook is just blaring while I walk Chandler. No one's around, so why not? It makes my walk so much better. So, if you haven't read Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, I'm gonna say talk. Goodbye non-spoilery people. When I finished this book the first time, I was so mad because I couldn't imagine a Harry Potter book where Harry doesn't go back to Hogwarts. And then there's the fact that Dumbledore just died. I was so attached to that man. And Harry himself mentions at the end he wasn't in denial looking for a loophole when Dumbledore died like he was when Sirius died. Oh, maybe you're not looking for a loophole, but I'm looking for a loophole. I was trying so hard to come up with a way that Dumbledore could still be alive. Right at the beginning of Half-Blood Prince, the trio follows Draco to Borgin and Burke's, and there's the most embarrassing Hermione scene. They hear Malfoy tell the clerk to keep an item on hold. Hermione prances into the shop and starts pointing at things and is like, is this for sale? Can I buy this, or is it on hold for somebody? It was so uncomfortable and cringeworthy. I just couldn't believe it was Hermione who was doing it, you know? That seems in character for, like, Ron to embarrass himself like that. On that same trip, they go to Weasley's Wizard Wheezes for the first time. In that chapter, they mentioned that the Ministry ordered 5,000 of Fred and George's shield hats, which is unbelievable. I did not remember the Ministry placing huge, giant clump orders from them. That's crazy. Something I'm finding really interesting rereading the books is the difference in characters in their movie form versus their book form. Fleur, for example. In the movies, she's Fleur de la Gloire, fiancée of Bill Weasley. In the books, she's Phlegm. Mrs. Weasley doesn't like her. Ginny's constantly making fun of her. Hermione doesn't like her. She's this annoying, arrogant, narcissistic presence. But Fleur in the movies is just this lovely blonde girl. You know, she's nothing too special. She's really, really toned down in the film. And then there's Snape. Movie Snape versus book Snape. There is such a difference in the cruelty level. Movie Snape is a sniveling pain in the ass, but he's not the complete jerkwad Snape that we see in the book. Harry stalks Malfoy on the train. He gets cursed by Malfoy, he's frozen, and Tonks has to come get him and bring him to school. So he gets to the Hogwarts gate, and Snape is the one to come get him. School literally hasn't even started yet, and 70 points get taken from Gryffindor. 50 for lateness, and 20 because Harry isn't wearing his school robes yet. When I read that, I just busted out laughing. It sounds like a joke. Gryffindor is literally negative 70 points starting out this year at Hogwarts. So because Harry's late, he misses the Sorting Hat song, but I forgot to talk about the Sorting Hat song in Order of the Phoenix because there's one paragraph of lyrics I just wanted to point out because it's all about the Hogwarts founders, which is really interesting. He says the 4 Hogwarts founders were the greatest witches and wizards of their time. They come to form this school. Slytherin's like, I only want to teach purebloods. That's it, that's it. Gryffindor's like, I only want to teach the bravest. We should only accept the bravest into our school. Ravenclaw's like, we should only accept the wisest, guys. The wisest is who I want to teach. And Hufflepuff said, I'll take the rest. So anyone who's not the smartest and the bravest and a pureblood, come with me. They have that reputation because there's an actual paragraph that actually says it. So this year they're working on silent spells at Hogwarts. And this starts in Snape's class, and Harry and Ron are paired up and trying to silently jinx each other, and both of them are failing. Snape goes up to them and is like, Ron, move over, I'll show you how it's done. Snape, the teacher, wants to replace Ron against Harry. Show Ron how it's done. Firstly, how do you show someone how it's done when you're doing a silent spell? They can't read your mind. Second, we know you know how to do it. You're the fucking teacher. So of course Harry panics because he doesn't want to be jinxed, and it's his nemesis. He throws up a verbal protego. Snape gets blasted back. It's hilarious. For some reason, I can't remember the exact wording, Snape says, sir, and Harry has the nerve to go, No need to call me sir, professor. I couldn't believe this incident when I was reading it. Like, I had totally forgotten how it went down. And like, you don't really realize it the first time you read through these books, or at least I didn't realize it. You know, we're just so with Harry, it just becomes the norm. But Harry is that kid in school that is always in fucking detention. Every book, he gets detention. First book, he gets that detention where he's out with Hagrid, and then second book, he gets the detention where he's shining the trophies, and he gets that one with Lockhart when he's doing his fan mail. And in the third book, I can't remember right now, I know he does some detention with Filch in one of those books. Fifth book, he's in detention all the goddamn time because of Umbridge. The sixth book, he's in detention with Snape multiple times. He's that kid. That troublemaker kid. There's so much Quidditch in book 6. I love it. I forgot that during the match where Cormac McLaggen has to replace Ron, he keeps pulling other members of the team aside during the game to give them tips on how to do their job better. And whilst doing that with a beater, he fucking hits a bludger at Harry, and Harry wakes up in the hospital wing. Let's talk about portrait. This is something in the Harry Potter world that I've wanted to talk about for ages. It always comes up in my mind and I want to discuss it. So when a headmaster dies, a portrait of them appears in Dumbledore's office. And there's portraits of people everywhere. And you can talk with them and converse with them, and they're like that person that they are. So when Dumbledore dies, a portrait of him is in McGonagall's office. Why don't we ever fucking talk to him? Does that Dumbledore know all about the Horcruxes? Does that Dumbledore have information? I'm sure Dumbledore has information about his life. Why can't we talk to Dumbledore? Can there be a portrait of you when you're still alive? Can Harry put portraits of himself in all different houses and also in his house, and then have like a spy network because there's lots of different portraits of himself reporting back to himself? Infinite possibilities. Can Harry steal that portrait of Dumbledore and put it in Hermione's bag so they can consult him whenever they want? And why don't we do that? I know, because it makes things too easy, but seriously, like, why don't we even talk to him at the end? And then we have Voldemort. Are there any portraits of Voldemort around? If we killed Voldemort, right, and killed all his Horcruxes, but there was a portrait of Voldemort hanging up in someone's house, can it convince whoever's in that house to be evil too? Is it like another Horcrux in a way? I know it doesn't actually have a piece of their soul, but it has an imprint of that person. Could he form an uprising within the portraits? I love to hear your take on the portraits and how much of that person you think is in that portrait. Because Dumbledore talks to the previous headmasters of Hogwarts in his office. We never get to hear the story of Dumbledore actually finding the rings. I'm sure it wasn't just chilling under a plank on the floor. Dumbledore kept saying, "That's a story for another time, Harry. It's a good story. I want to do it justice." Look at us now, Dumbledore! You're dead! We're never gonna get that story! Where's the justice now? Another thing I've always wondered about, you guys, butterbeer. Does it have alcohol in it, or does it not? Of course, the kind that we have in our world doesn't have alcohol. It's just diabetes in a cup, but it's delicious. And Harry has it when he's like 13. So like, are they very lax about the drinking age in the wizarding world, or is it alcohol free? But Harry specifically says in this book, he's talking about Hermione and Ron and how they're being more polite to each other. And he's like, I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens under the influence of butterbeer and dark light at Slughorn's Christmas party. So under the influence means that like they're under the influence. In movie 6, Hermione gets tipsy after they're at the Three Broomsticks and she has a butterbeer. I mean, maybe there's non-alcoholic butterbeer and there's alcoholic butterbeer. You think like there's virgin butterbeer and regular butterbeer? I don't know. We never discussed that difference, so it's always been a mystery. Another random thing I noticed in this book, we never really see the kids go back and forth during Christmas. In Half-Blood Prince, they flew powder back from the Burrow to McGonagall's office in Hogwarts. Hogwarts! And they appear in her office. What is the security like with the fires? This is a big mystery to me now. That this just blew me away because I didn't realize students could flu powder back into the school. How are fires monitored? Can anyone flu powder into the school, or did they have to have like a reservation? I'm assuming they had to have a reservation with McGonagall, like knowing exactly when they were coming, but it's curious. It's really curious. 6th year, also the year of apparition lessons, something that I really wish we got to do in the movie because I think it would be hilarious to watch the kids trying to disappear for the first time into a hoop in front of them and failing so hard. Harry has private lessons with Dumbledore this year, and he goes to those lessons so many times. We see so many more memories in the book than we see in the movie. I remember it being really brief in the movie and thinking like, how is Harry gonna find any Horcruxes in movie 7? And they made it work. Harry could hear Horcruxes and feel them. In the book, that's not a thing. The memory that I found the most interesting is when Voldemort comes back to the school to ask Dumbledore for a job. Like, Voldemort wants to teach defense against the dark arts. It's been 10 years since he graduated. He's made some Horcruxes. His face is like all waxy and weird already. I just had to stop and laugh. I just imagine that first day of school, 7th year at Hogwarts. Harry's not there. Neville's in class. They're waiting for their new defense against the dark arts teacher. And it's I, Lord Voldemort, your new defense against the dark arts professor. So Dumbledore tasks Harry with getting the uninhibited memory from Slughorn regarding Horcruxes and Voldemort. I remember reading this for the first time and thinking like, this is such an impossible task. And when Harry goes to his next appointment without that memory, was that really your best idea, Harry? Was your heart really in it? I told you how important this was. Did you really think this through? Without this, there's no point in our lesson. Did you try? Guilt, Harry. Everything you could. Feel the guilt. Guilt! Passive aggressive much? Why don't you just do it yourself, Dumbledore? God! So you get the memory from Slughorn, right? Professor said, just want to mess up Horcruxes, you know, for no reason. So like, how do you make one? You have to rip your soul apart. Yeah, I know. So like, how do you do that? You perform an act of the utmost evil. Killing. Killing rips the soul apart, and the wizard uses that damage to his advantage and bottles it with a spell. My question here is, so every time you kill someone, does that rip your soul apart and a piece of it goes away? Is that what they're saying? So when Snape killed Dumbledore, did a piece of Snape's soul rip off and float away? Voldemort has killed a bajillion people. Are you saying that he doesn't kill anyone now? That he just gets other people to do his dirty work all the time? I feel like his soul is in like a bajillion pieces. Are you saying that he only killed 7 people up to killing Harry? No, because he just killed Harry's mom and dad. Did his soul rip then too and it just floated away? What the heck? What you assume when you're watching it and you forget about this paragraph is that there's a special spell that you use when you kill someone to rip your soul and put it in a bottle. But Slughorn says that your soul just rips and then you take advantage of it and catch that in a bottle if you want to create a Horcrux. Okay, catch that in an object. Sorry, not a bottle. It's not like a genie. Voldemort's got a bunch of lamps hidden around the world. Genie Horcruxes. So apparently another thing that I had forgotten is that when he went to kill Harry's parents and Harry, he only had 6 Horcruxes thus far. He kills Harry. Maybe it's the spell that bottles the Horcrux leaves its mark on you too, and it makes your soul more unstable. So not just rip, but to rip and attach itself to things. Maybe that's the logic there. So then he went to kill Harry, and this was an important death, and maybe he was gonna create a Horcrux at this point, and maybe that's what happened. He had the intent of creating Horcrux at that point. He didn't think that the spell was gonna reverberate and hit him though. That soul that he was gonna put on something, he didn't get to put on whatever he wanted to, and it went into Harry. And then apparently Dumbledore said that Voldemort killed a Muggle man a couple years back and created a Horcrux out of Nagani. So Nagani wasn't a Horcrux till book 4, it seems, because that guy that he killed must have been Frank, the gardener at the Riddle House. That's when he made Nagani a Horcrux. At this point in the story, Voldemort was literally like an evil baby blob in a chair, and he decided it's time to rip his soul again and put a piece in the snake. Another interesting thing that I've never really thought about, unless I did and I don't remember, Voldemort used something from every founder except for Gryffindor. There's no Gryffindor relic that he was able to use as a Horcrux. Interesting. Harry wants someone to trail Malfoy, and he gets Kreacher and Dobby to do it. They come to do their report on Malfoy. Kreacher. Malfoy walks in the manner of a pureblood. He eats at the Hogwarts table. He has a chin and blonde hair. Okay, Dobby, you tell me. Good job, Kreacher. The gait in which Malfoy walks, it's something I've always wanted to know. And then there's this part, I love this part. So Harry uses Sectum Sempra on Malfoy. Snape comes in. He's like, Harry, where did you learn that spell? Harry can't block his mind, so Snape sees that it has something to do with his school books. Go get your school bag and bring all your books to me. He runs to get his school books, but before he comes back, he switches his potions book with Ron's. Now, meanwhile, back a few chapters, Ron is writing a paper for Snape and all the words are misspelled. And he's like, what's going on? And he's using a spell check quill from Fred and George's shop, but the quill has lost its charm and now is just writing everything wrong. So he has Ron's potions book. He brings all his books to Snape. Snape goes through the books. He gets to the potions book and he holds it up to Harry. Harry, this is your potions book. Yep, this is your book. Yes, this is your brand new book that you purchased from Flourish and Blots. Yes, then why written on the inside cover does it say Ronald Waslib? R-O-N-I-L space W-A-Z-L-I-B Ronald Waslib. And Harry goes, that's my nickname. That's my nickname. The famous Harry Potter. Nice to meet you. Yep, I'm Harry Potter. Friends call me Ronald Weasley. His nickname has a first and last name. Ronald Weasley. His nickname is harder to say than his actual name. His name is just like, your nickname? Yeah, nickname is something your friends call you. John Riddle wants a nickname. He grants Lord Voldemort. Harry Potter wants a nickname. Ronald Weasley. Like that moment, like the ridiculousness of the idea that Snape would ever believe that Ronald Weasley is Harry Potter's nickname. Name's Harry Potter. Friends call me Ronald Weasley. My best friend's name is Ronald Weasley. So we want to match. I also relearned that Snape was the one that overheard the prophecy from Professor Trelawney when she first stated it. So he's the one who told Voldemort about it and thus set into motion Harry's entire life. So Harry learns about this and he's pretty pissed off. The climactic scene with Dumbledore and Harry when they went to the cave together, listening to this in the audiobook was so intense. Listening to Dumbledore drink that potion was so much more heartbreaking with the audiobook. I was just doing my makeup. This is my millionth time reading it. I know exactly what's gonna happen, but I was in tears. Jim Dale, man. Jim Dale. And then this is the book, you know, where Harry, he tells Scrimgeour that he's Dumbledore's man through and through, which touches my heart every single time I read it. And when he's about to go to the cave with Dumbledore, Harry and Ron are like, no, you need Felix Felicis more than we do. Take it. And Harry goes, I don't need it. I'm gonna be with Dumbledore. You guys take it. Harry has to carry Dumbledore out of the cave. He's really worried because Dumbledore's really weak and he keeps saying, Professor, it's gonna be okay. Don't worry, don't worry. And Dumbledore goes, I'm not worried, Harry, because I'm with you. It was just really, really heartbreaking hearing it, knowing that Dumbledore was about to die, you know, and Dumbledore knew it, and Harry didn't. And Harry got him out of it, and got him to the astronomy tower, and Dumbledore still died. Reading this book for the first time, and realizing they didn't even get the Horcrux. Like, the end of this book was heartbreaking in a million different ways. Harry has to break up with Ginny. It was so exciting to see him finally get together with Ginny. Book Ginny versus movie Ginny, there's a huge difference. Movie Ginny was like annoying and boring and delivered her lines plainly, a pain in the ass. And book Ginny is funny and lively and has like long red hair and she's really pretty. She's great at magic and she's wonderful. I really didn't get that from movie Ginny at all. I was just extremely emotional hearing the end of this via audiobook. It was like rereading it again for the first time. And something else I really didn't remember was that Harry was chasing after Snape at the end and Snape comes back to tower over Harry and be like, I am an Half-Blood Prince, fuck you, don't call me a coward. Buckbeak comes out of nowhere and descends down upon Snape, pecks at him and scratches him and stuff for Harry. That is so cool. Yeah. This is a fantastic book. Like right now, I'd say number 6 is my second favorite behind Deathly Hallows. It would be 7, 6, 4, 5, 2, 1, 3. That's my rating right now. We'll see my rating when I get all the way back around to 4. That'll be my new perspective rating. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on any of these topics that I brought up. Please, let's discuss them. I obviously love discussing Harry Potter things. I'm Christine. I make videos every Tuesday. All my links are in the description. I have Instagram and Twitter and all the social media things. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!